invest in new technologies to support their learning sizes. Whether the students view these as tools for learning or not, parents and educators have to join hands about utilizing new technologies to support this faith-based initiative in student learning. Perfect interaction. As long-standing rationale A long-standing rationale for connecting schools and students to tablet learning is not only that they can access the wealth of learning materials available, but also they can interact with the teachers in a much better way. Laptop to tablet. When it came to educational technology, it used to be all about desktops, computer, and laptops. But now, many education systems around the world tablets are all the range. Every single keystroke a student makes while learning through a tablet is buffered so that if there is a problem of remembering, nothing is lost and students can again start from exactly where they were before. Easiest way of learning. Perhaps the most important tablet education has meant that students, teachers, products, school, official, and so on could actually see and experience the learning environment personally and also help dispel many related myths and worries of the students. The challenges related to student motivations in this regard has to be considered, and a large-scale involvement of the school's authorities is really essential for the robustness and reliability of the technology infrastructure, which makes tablet learning the most easiest and interesting aspect for the students. Tablet learning concept. Digital education highlights many challenges related to training and support for teachers and students. The decision to use Login India tablets with educational content is increasingly fundamental to understand how negative one's way through the best way of succeeding in a modern society where more and more of our lives are going to be driven by the actions of these types of devices and information systems that are running on a tablet learning concept. Helps logical thinking. Digital education will help students acquire vocational skills that are clearly relevant and solve the notion that when digital education is well taught, it can help to develop important logical thinking and problem-solving skills. Indeed, tablets education is at its very heart about logic and meant to be oriented to help people identify and solve specific problems, whether they are basic as having a greeting appearing on the screen. Digital learning helps students better understand the nature of the world around them. Login India efforts. Efforts to teach digitization to young students through the use of tools like Login India educational tablets are often cited as compelling examples of what good digital education efforts may comprise. If you concede that digitization of education is a new literacy in our increasingly technology-saturated world, it is still worth moving ahead with new large-scale mandatory educational initiative in schools. Success of digitization. Educational success, after all, is a basic level function of tapping into a learner's inherited curiosity. If we are talking about situations where a slightly interested learner is made to learn and practice basic commands and actions related to make digital tablet do something especially well, then it largely relates to things like accepting a change in the entire strategy of digital conversion. Develops basic literacy. If wide-scale digital education helps students develop their own cognitive abilities, then it is a potential useful means to a larger ends. as an extracurricular or enrichment activity of digitization in education system which promotes the development of basic literacy skills, the introduction of efforts to promote tablets with educational content in schools may, according to such lines of thinking, seem rather reasonable, especially where such efforts help engage or energize disinterested learners, particularly where such students may not for reasons of bias discrimination. Educational technology. Innovation of tablets in learning was undoubtedly the buzzword of the century in the field of education, and for many students the fact was that the new technology was a gift of learning. Complexities in utilizing Log in India educational tablets for digital learning movements have been highlighted as one of the greatest innovations in education. Innovations from digital academic era is a must-proven factor for the current education scenario. As computing devices and connectivity continue to proliferate, practical knowledge and know-how about what works and what doesn't when it comes to technology use in education is increasingly found in many places. Exciting possibilities. Much is made for the need for innovation in digital education. The revolutionary potential of some new technology to impact teaching and learning is often quite exciting. The increased dysfunction of low-cost, powerfully connected educational technology devices across and within communities offers exciting possibilities and potential to do things differently and potentially in a good way, and the use of technology in education continues innovation. Investment for future. The conservative and traditional sectors than those related to digital education is totally understandable and appropriate. Investments in digital education represent investments in the future of our children who will be our future citizens, workers, leaders, and community members. Change as a must. We should not gamble with or continue experimenting with the ancient way we used to educate our children and try out too many old things available in the past. The potential downside of failure careers with it when we are adamant and not flexible to cope up with the latest digital developments and rather stick on the old way of teaching and learning, experienced in the old ways and crawl on to follow the same. Let's first teach our kids digitally by allowing them to think algorithmically, and once we have got a good start with that, we will try to figure out the relevance of stuff and see how they have spent the hours of their school day by taking into account the digital interests of the students. Digital literacy. The importance of digital literacy for economic growth and development is already well established. Digital literacy enables people to access information and improves their productivity. Digital literacy enables people to access information and improves their productivity. It is crucial to the diffusion of new technologies, especially among the poor. It reduces high economic returns, so much so that early literacy is viewed as a threshold for economic development. Youth icon. Digital education and training play an important role in ensuring that youth is developing skills to live independent and prosperous lives. Youth is more affected by unemployment than any other age group. Around the globe, we have seen the political, economic, and social consequences of young people not having jobs. Governments and international development organizations have turned to digital education and training initiatives as one tool to enable youth to find jobs or launch their own businesses. Now, digital education has developed to the extent of being an icon for the new generation students. New avenues. Teaching students to learn digitally can serve as a getaway to subsequent study of curriculum topics in the most easiest manner. Being able to change digitally in education enables new avenues for creativity and entirely new expressions. Digital instructions. Computers play increasingly large roles in our lives, and so it's important to understand how they function. Computers don't have minds of their own, and they act only according to the instructions that have been programmed into them. A search result appears on your screen, as such things are increasingly not directly determined by a person, but rather by an algorithm or combination of algorithms that has been created. Understanding what such algorithms perform accordingly will be very important to understand in our increasingly digitized world. Early trend. The technology-driven new generation, which uses digital equipment more than chocolates even before they start to walk, need very less computer literacy classes which monopolize the use of computing facilities for schools in the past. But now it is no longer needed because students are already computer literate, and such developments haven't demonstrated real value, and technologies change so fast too. The potential value and relevance of digital education in schools and colleges, to be honest, remains a distinct outliner in related developments of education. Digital thinking. Digital thinking is a way of solving problems, designing systems, and understanding human behavior that draws on concepts fundamental to computer science. It means creating and making use of different levels of abstraction so as to understand and solve problems more effectively. Digital computational thinking means learning algorithmically and with the ability to apply mathematical concepts such as introduction to develop more efficient, fair, and secure solutions. Route for ending poverty. Education is indeed the sole route to end poverty, and when it comes to digital education, the situation is much more positive to get better results for the common man, which provides young and ordinary people with more opportunities to experience the new digital atmosphere with the help of Login India.